Fishing Texas with Clark Wendlandt. This portion of the show is brought to you by Cabela's, the world's foremost outfitter of hunting, fishing, and outdoor gear. Ranger Boats, still building legends one at a time. And by the Texas Team Trail, an all-new tournament series. Welcome back to Sam Rayburn with Elite Bass Pro Mike McClelland. We're previewing stop number 1 of the 2012 Texas Team Trail.
The Sam Rayburn is one of the legendary bass lakes in the whole country. The reason is just the versatility of it, the variety that you can find there. Grass, there's a little bit of rock, there's deep structure, you can fish shallow, bushes, the water can come up, fluctuates a lot, lots of timber, you can run to the backs of the creeks. I mean, it's got everything.
For years, the lake has been an annual stop on the professional tour. Rayburn now hosts an estimated 300 tournaments a year, and the lake just keeps getting better.
Sam Rayburn Reservoir is, I mean, it's a legendary. It's got to be one of the top 10 best ever bass fishing tournament lakes that's ever been designed. There's so many different ways that you can catch them, and it's constantly changing, and to me, that's what makes it a fair test for fishing, because you can catch them one year and the next year go back and it'd be dry or 10 feet deeper. So Sam Rayburn is without question one of the fairest tests you're ever going to find in competitive bass fishing.
Now, as we said, the lake is currently about 11 feet low. This tends to scare some people, but in reality, it only serves to concentrate the fish. And with this in mind, let's send it back to Mike McClelland and see what lures he thinks will be key to catching pre-spawn fish in early March.
Based on what I've seen here at Sam Rayburn today, if I was coming to fish this Texas Team Trail Tournament in March, this would probably be a pretty good array of the rods I would have ready to fish when I got here. You have to think about the fact that these fish are still in that pre-spawn staging mode, that you gotta have a 3/4 or 1 ounce willow leaf spinner bait, something that you can slow roll out there on the edge of the grass, down the middle of the drains to catch those staging fish. Another bait that's gonna play there is gonna be a suspending jerk bait, something that you can get down, really slow down, and fish slow if the water temperature is cold. A 1/2 or a 3/4 ounce rattling bait. You saw me catch my best fish today on this 5/8 ounce Roku shad. That's going to be a key bait as well. But if the water for any reason, you know, warms up like it should in March, I mean, this water temperature ought to be pushing up into the 60s the way I look at it, then you've got to look at things a little bit differently. A Carolina rig is going to be a mainstay, whether you're fishing out or you're fishing up shallow in the drains, on the points, things like that. Another bait that's going to play is going to be a smaller, a 1/2 ounce or a 1/4 ounce rattling bait. Something that you can fish up shallower with these fish pushing up shallow. One of the other keys you got to think about is if the lake would happen to get up and warm up, there's a couple things that are going to come into play. Number one, you might be flipping a tube up into shallow bushes, the willow trees, or even up into the pine trees. If for some reason the fish are spawning, you better have some white tubes to sight fish with. And if the water's got color, probably one of the biggest things that people have forgot about is the floating worm. 5 or 6 years ago when we were here, Takahiro Omori won one of the events on a floating worm, and this could be a major, major player come March on Sam Rayburn for the Texas Team Trail. You know, one of the things about Sam Rayburn is, as you can see, this lake is at the lowest state it's been at in years, and you know, this is going to play a huge factor this year for this first event in March. Probably the biggest thing that everybody's hoping is that this thing comes back up. But one thing about it, if the lake stays low like it is, all it's going to do is compress all the fish into a lot tighter, smaller areas, and they're really going to catch them. But if for some reason the lake does come up, there's so many things that you've got to take into consideration on Rayburn. One of the biggest things is, these fish follow drains, they follow these old little creek channels, and if this lake does get up and gets up in that buckbrush, you can bet there's going to be some big spawners caught up in that kind of stuff. Good little drain that swings right up against that point right there. Goes from about 11 foot to 5 foot in no time. And that's where these fish ought to be right now. You know, here this time of the year in the beginning of winter, this water's cooled way off and these fish have been up in this shallow stuff, and they should be pulling back out on these points and the lips of these little drains. Should be really bunching up too.
First by land and now by sea, Lucas Oil has long been a staple for high-performance racing vehicles. Now Lucas Oil offers a full line of marine products specially designed for today's outboard engines and proven under the most extreme conditions. Look them up online at lucasoil.com. We'll be right back with more Fishing Texas.